This is my sanity bar. It's moderately full, but it's about to take a sudden drop over the next 20 minutes as we try and complete a flawless run. Well, 20 minutes for you, a month of suffering for me. So here are the rules. Contact with another car or hitting a wall means we delete all progress and we're back to the beginning. Making things a little harder is that any car used in a previous failed run is no longer eligible for any future runs. Right then, let's get going. Attempt number 1. Okay, first thing we're going to need is a car. And a giant boxy Gran Turismo 4 seems like a good choice, as it's 4-wheel drive and it's got a decent amount of power. Of course, the first event we're going to tackle is the Sunday Cup. But seeing as this challenge is so difficult, we're going to ease ourselves into it by starting with an easy track, like the high-speed ring here. Alright, you big giant box, let's see what you're capable of. And of course, be careful, we don't want to hit any of the opponents. But once a clean lane opens up, we can floor it. And by the end of the start straight, we're in first. Getting to the front of the pack as soon as possible is key, as it means we no longer have to contend with any other opponents, making the race much easier. And just like that, we've won our first race. Nice work, box. Next up in the Sunday Cup is the special stage, Route 5, where we almost dive right into the rear of one of our opponents. Really should have learned a lesson about being careful there. But nope, a moment later, we collide with another car. Well, I guess that's the end of our first run. Ah! What? Why did that hurt? What? Attempt 2? I don't want to do an attempt. Ooh, I like this car. Well, I guess we could do a few runs at the Sunday Cup, as long as we're extra careful not to hit any other cars or walls. That explosion really hurt. This Storia has definitely got the goods to get through the Sunday Cup. We just have to take some very unorthodox racing lines and be very aware of our surroundings. That means not sliding into the back of another car. And in doing so, nothing can stop us claiming first place and completing the Sunday Cup. With completed championships comes money. With money comes upgrades. So we waste no time turning the Storia into an absolute weapon. And with that, we're off to the 4-wheel drive challenge to put it to work. I do love a good race at El Capitan, and in a 4-wheel drive, even better. But the Storia does lack the power off the start line, only claiming third place by the corners. So we're going to have to be careful in getting past these final 2 cars. The Subaru didn't put up much of a fight, but as soon as we go to overtake the Audi, that's when disaster strikes. Oh no! Ooh, that burnt. And I'm back to the beginning. How do I get out of this? Oh, it looks like I get to drive a Trueno though. Well, at least that makes it easy enough to get through the Sunday Cup, which then pays for upgrades to turn our little 86 into a race car. And what better testing ground for our improved performance than the FR Championship? Now our opponents may look quite threatening, but our peppy little 86 wastes no time in squeezing through every little gap it can find, making its way very quickly into a podium spot. On roads like this, we need to stay aware of our opponent's movements. It's best to wait for a long straight to make our move, even if it means we aren't touching the ground. One position to go. Get out of my way, Beamer. This Trueno cannot be stopped from claiming victory. Now I believe that the 86 still has enough life left in it to challenge the Clubman Cup. Oh, we're really starting to hit some tougher opponents now. But with the power of nitrous, the 86 makes short work of its racing opponents. Well, all but one. Usually, I'm the only person bringing an overpowered car to these races, but not today. Still, he could have brought a Ferrari, for all I care, because nothing can stop this Trueno. first place is ours, bringing completion of the Clubman Cup, with the Turismo still hungry for more. Turbo Cup. Are you sure, Turismo? Yeah, I should have known not to doubt the Turismo's capabilities, as we easily use it to weave through traffic on our way towards the front of the pack. Until just a single RX-7 remains. Sorry, RX-7, but you don't stand a chance. Hey, what are you doing? Whoa, hold on. That's not my fault. That's not my fault. Ah, damn it. I guess the only way out is to try again. With my sanity fading fast, I thought it was time to sit back with a glass of Baileys and ice, put on a nice movie, and relax, while still trying to complete this challenge on a separate screen. Now, as you can imagine, this was certainly not conducive to good outcomes, but repeating the same process over and over was wearing very heavily on me, with each successive failure driving me closer and closer towards total insanity. Things kept going from bad to worse as I continued to fail challenges, some of them lasting more than 12 hours, just to be wiped away in a horribly painful explosion. I was beginning to think that I might never escape this challenge, forced to repeat it forever. With my sanity bar almost completely gone, I'm forced to turn to my most hated of Gran Turismo cars for help. Worth it. Back again. Another attempt. Another car. I'm fully refreshed, focused, and ready to make some progress. So with that, we're off to the front-wheel drive cup at Hong Kong to quickly make some serious cash. Only things don't go as planned. Oh, this next part's gonna hit. Attempt 11, and those explosions, they don't get any easier. For this run, we've settled on an old S13, and with a few affordable upgrades, it begins its journey, claiming win after win as the reward money stacks up, affording the S13 to become more and more powerful with the acquisition of more expensive upgrades, until it gets to the stage where we feel comfortable enough to enter it into the Turbo Cup. With the new upgrades, the S13 has clearly got the power to outpace these opponents. But as a byproduct, what we are now struggling with is the ability to put that power down effectively, as the S13 loves to turn those tyres into smoke. The long start straight allows us to make decent progress as we spot a gap on the inside, coming to our senses and hitting the brakes just in time, as our frail old brain has slowly gotten wise to the terrible decisions that I've been making. With a move around the outside, we make our way past Evo and into second place, with just one final car to go. We furiously push the S13 to close the gap as quickly as possible, but sadly, it's not enough, as while we get close, we don't complete the overtake on the long straight at the beginning of the final lap. Right, this next straight after the S-bend is our best shot. So as soon as we're clear, we hit the nitros and power forward into the lead and claiming first place in the Turbo Cup. With the S13 honestly becoming a bit of a nightmare to use effectively, it's time we went in search of a replacement. And this old Skyline here, I'm sure is capable of defeating any opponent we can throw against it. But for that to happen, we need some upgrades. Lots of upgrades. And now to get the hang of this new machine, and what better place for that than the 4-wheel drive challenge? Well, that was a piece of cake to win. So let's move on to something more difficult, the second to last event, where we'll find the most powerful opponents outside of the GT Championship. Right off the line, our Skyline is making progress as it takes the first position and then closing the distance on the next opponents. Finding a gap to pass, however, turns out to be a bit more difficult than expected, as the orange car appears determined to detonate me. As a precautionary measure, we hold off our attempts to overtake until a safe opportunity presents itself to us. And we don't have to wait long, as orange gets impatient and attempts to murder somebody else instead. That's our opening, and now we're up to third. Our Skyline is clearly the faster of the two cars, putting it into second place with just a GT40 to go. That GT40, however, has built up a commanding lead, and it's not until the 7th lap that we're even close enough to consider making a move. The moment a straight appears, the Skyline roars into life, flying past the GT40, allowing us to claim victory over the Supercar Festival. Any upgrades that we couldn't afford earlier are now purchased and added to the car to boost its performance even further. And with that, we're off to the Tuning Car Cup. Now this cup is different from anything we have tackled so far, in that it's a championship. Championships allow qualifying, meaning we get to start each race in first place. So with no opponents to avoid, we easily complete these glorified time trials, allowing us to achieve victory in the Tuning Car Cup. Next car up on our list is the mid-engine Zeta. This thing. We're going to use it in 2 championships. First, the MR Challenge, which poses no problems. And then from there, the more advanced, naturally aspirated Cup. Coming up to the halfway point of the lap, it may look discouraging, seeing as we're still in last place. The thing is, we're just biding our time here, playing it safe until the long straight comes around, at which point we spring into action, moving ourselves up to just outside of a podium spot, a position we then claim right after the start of the 2nd lap. Oh, look at that! We're coming up to that long straight again. And as soon as the tyres start doing their part and actually grip the road, we move into 2nd place, which is then replaced shortly after by 1st, as we overtake the final car, completing the naturally aspirated championship. Back to the dealership again. This time, we're searching for a decent front-wheel drive vehicle. Toyota Civics. But this will do nicely. And I'm not wrong, the 323 flies into first straight away as it makes quick work of the front wheel drive challenge. And back to the used car dealership, for a K car this time. And I know, a lot of people love the Cappuccino, but for me, it doesn't get any better than a blue AZ1. Just look at the thing. Once fully upgraded, it's off to the Lightweight Cup, where after moving its way through the grid, the little Mazda has a brief fight with the current lead holder, before taking its rightful place in first, as king of the K-Cars. Being sick of used cars, we go on the hunt for something new. That new thing turns out to be something old, as we purchase ourselves a classic RUF. This is what we're going to use to safely get us through the Boxer Cup, where we are required to battle our way through the track that I despise most, Hong Kong. The narrow sections of track, along with the sharp corners, limit the safe areas for us to advance through the grid, meaning we need to pick our moments very carefully. Deciding to make a move on a wider section of track, we only just manage to squeeze through before our opponent closes the opening, almost ending our run in the process. We are slowly making progress, and by the time we return to that wide section of track, we're in 3rd place and about to claim 2nd, leaving just a blue WRX to go. In an attempt to take the lead, we take an unorthodox line coming into the final corner of the lap, in an attempt to use brute power down the straight to claim the lead. Wisely, we end up staying wide on the next corner, avoiding the WRX as it flies back into the lead on the inside. But at the corner exit, it's now our turn, yet again, to reclaim that lead and begin to reinforce our position, so that nothing can stop us from completing the Boxer Cup. Not many cups remaining now, and in a move that shows just how low my sanity has gotten, we willingly purchase ourselves an SSR, which we will use to complete both the Roadster and Sports Truck Cups. And then we are finally ready for the Gran Turismo World Championship. Like some of the other cups before, the Gran Turismo World Series is a championship, so we get to easily qualify and start each race in first place. To stack the odds even further in our favour, we have restarted this championship over and over, until we got a weak grid that we could easily destroy. Sporting? No. But I've restarted far too many times to fail now. Don't judge me. With everything set to go, we begin the championship in Tokyo, where we shoot off from our opponents to an unbeatable lead, easily completing the first race. The second race of the series is the easy oval track, where once again, our raw power allows us to outperform our opponents. The only risk this entire race is when we're lapping the slower cars. With the oval complete, next up is Hong Kong. And although I despise this track, we still fly away from our opponents to a healthy lead. No. Wait, I haven't exploded. Maybe I didn't actually hit that wall. Fuck. No, I subjected myself to an SSR for this run. Oh no. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Bye.